Hello everyone. I said we'd be back and here we are. This is Karen Edwards. I am broadcasting live from the Sound Stage at the 2023 IRE in Dallas. And joining me right now is Dave from Leister. Welcome.
Thank you, Karen. That's nice to be here. Appreciate the invite.
So nice to have you here.
Thank you.
We were just talking right before we started about how busy it is here today. I mean, you told me.
Well, this afternoon I've been swamped. I went from 1:30 to 4:30 in a blink. So it's nice because the last couple of years have been a little different. So this kind of feels good. I'm not complaining at all. Don't get me wrong. It's a good thing.
We're back,
it's a good
baby.
thing.
And
yeah.
It's nice when you're that busy because one, the day does go by fast, and it's great to see everybody and talk to all these contractors. What kind of conversations are you having with contractors?
Well, you know, a lot of people come to the booth, and people really naturally like to know what's new.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, everybody's kind of hungry for new information about, you know, because people have known us for a long time.
Right, Leister, if you don't know Leister, get out of town.
Yeah, so we've been doing this for a while, but at the same time, you know, we like to think of ourselves as innovators, and we like to think that there's opportunity to do things better and improve on what we do now. You know, so things, you know, that relate to process improvement, improved quality management and quality control over the welding process. Those are things that are important to us. And so those are some of the things that Leister's worked on over the last several years. And so we'd like to feature some of that, you know, here at the IRE, and that's what we've been talking about this afternoon. So
you guys are an innovator. You know, we talk about what technologies are coming and how they're going to change things that we're doing, but you guys have kind of had like robotics on the roof now for a long time.
Yeah, we have. And, you know, a lot of the evolution of the process really kind of started with the hand welder, the traditional hand welding methods, and moved over time into the automatic welders. And that was really a drive to automate and improve the process to the point, try to remove some of the human factor from it, because the hand welding process in and of itself is a very human factor. That, you know, how hot, how fast, how hard are we pressing, how fast are we moving on the seam. So there's opportunities for things to go awry in that. And so with an automatic welder, you're now digitally regulating things like temperature and speed and airflow and that type of thing. And the weight of the machine is providing consistent welding pressure. And so some of those things that, you know, were human factors before have been removed from the process. And so, you know, we work to try to make improvements and enhance those technologies over time, but really the drive was to try to bring more tools into the portfolio that can help us better control that process, move further and further away from the strict reliance on those traditional hand welding methods, and improve, you know, the overall workmanship and quality that takes place on the job. You know, so the things that we've been doing and the products that we've been bringing in have all with the effort to try to do that and make the overall quality control and quality management of the entire project better.
Better seams, better welds, better quality.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
So tell me your booth number again.
Yeah, 7308.
7308. So if you want to see it, can they see it in action?
We have several different tools that we have featured. Yeah, so we have the entire portfolio is on display.
Wow, that's exciting, because there's nothing better. This is why we like to come to these shows, because especially with a product like yours, just to see it, to you know, try it out, to feel it, you know, get a feel for it.
Well, and there's a real connection that takes place with those that use our machines all the time. And so you can look at it on a website, or you can look on it on a YouTube video, or whatever, but when you see it in front of you, I'm always amazed at the light bulbs that go off, right? When they see it, and then we invite them, say, would you like to try?
Yeah.
You know, and let them run it. And that's where the real connection is. And that's where they really start to say, oh, I can see this application or that application where I can really use this. And that's where the real connection takes place. But it needs to still happen in an event like this, I think.
Yeah, that's exciting. So what do you have that's new when a contractor asks you that question? Sure.
Well, we've got a couple of different things that are, one's, you know, really new, and then something is newer. So one of the tools that we're featuring is called the Unidrive 500. And this is a tool that we brought out. We actually first introduced it at the IRE a couple of years ago, but we kind of placed this in the semi-automatic welder category. So it's sort of a tool that bridges the gap between, again, that traditional hand welding and fully automatic walk-behind welder. So this is a tool that is very ergonomic and balanced. The welding nozzle and the welding process sort of more closely replicates the way it takes place with an automatic welder, but it's balanced. It's got several different handle positions on it, and so it helps to create a weld that looks closer to how you would see a weld be done with an automatic welder, but the target for that would be a lot of the applications that maybe might have been done by hand before. So we're talking about wall flashings, outside edge metal detail, vertical walls, tops of narrow parapets, and that type of thing. So, so it's mainly a tool to help with improved quality management and quality control over that process. And we know we're never going to really have a situation where we're going to eliminate hand welding. All we're trying to do is reduce the reliance on it.
Yes.
You know, there's always going to be applications where we know for sure, yeah, hand welder's the right one. We're trying to bridge that gap. The oh, by the way, is that, you know, once the users become quite competent working with it, they're going to see a productivity boost as well. So they're going to see better productivity as measured in feet per minute when you start to get comfortable in working with a tool like that. So we're featuring that in the booth today.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
And then you said something newer?
Oh yeah. So yeah, last year we came out with a new tool, a new version of an existing tool. So we've had the Uniroof out for several years now, probably 7 years. But if you go back about 7 years ago, we came out with a new program called LQS. It stands for Leister Quality System. We first rolled this out in our geosynthetic membrane welders. And so last year we just put our foot in the domain of the roofing side of it and brought this LQS into the roofing industry in our Uniroof 700. So what's happening with an LQS-enabled tool? So in the background, on an LQS-enabled tool, we are recording the welding data in the background on the machine. So we're tracking and recording temperature, speed, airflow, and the incoming voltage into the machine, okay? So the user has the ability to utilize a feature called Monitored Welding Assistant. And what that is basically is the ability to go in and establish parameter limits or ranges, plus or minus, for these key important welding parameters. So that when you're actively welding, if something happens in that process, whether it's mechanical or electrical, but it takes one of those parameters outside of that range, plus or minus, you're now going to get a visible alarm. It's going to go off. The display is going to flash red. You're going to get an audible alarm. So that's to tell the user, hey, something's happening here that maybe is going to take us outside of our welding window. So rather than just continue on to weld, you should stop the process, assess the conditions, take corrective actions before we just continue to weld. So that incident, per se, would have been recorded in the background and be available as part of that data report that could be created at the end of the project.
Wow.
Okay. So there's other things that are built into it as well, like a feature called recipe management. So this allows the user to create custom recipes that they can use as starting recipes. So depending on what material they're using or different ambient, temperatures or whatnot, they can create custom starting recipes.
That's really
They can
nice.
save them and they can drop them onto the different machines. This is an app-based program. So yeah, we have the My Leister app. So that can be downloaded, and then that's how the machine communicates. So the machine puts off a Wi-Fi signal that's picked up by the mobile device, and that information is then synchronized to the app.
Wow.
And it could be, then it's synchronized to the cloud, and anybody who's a user on that cloud account would then have access to that data. Okay, so again, you can go into the machine and you can set your customized welding parameters. You can do it in the app. You can do it on the machine itself. If you have several different machines, you can drop them on all the machines, so everybody's working out of the same hymnal, so to speak.
That's really cool technology.
So, yeah, it is pretty cool. And so anyway, that's one of the newer things. And we've only really had this out now for maybe about a year.
Wow. Oh, that's exciting. So you have a lot to talk about when contractors ask what's new.
We do.
Awesome. Well, Dave, thank you for coming today and sharing with us and sharing with everybody out there.
My pleasure. Yeah.
If you are coming, be sure to stop by Leister booth 7308 and check out the cool app and the technology and all the new stuff and see it, feel it, try it.
Sounds good. Great.
Love it. So we are not done yet. We've got about 20 minutes left, so we'll be coming to you live one more time. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you get notifications when we are live, and hopefully we will see you here at the show.